Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tony here with Italian Dual Citizenship Assistance. And today I had planned to provide an update on yesterday's Constitutional Court hearing from June 24th. But today, something potentially even more important happened because we now have not just one, but two major court cases in motion that could impact people pursuing Italian citizenship by descent. Now, just a quick reminder, I offer affordable 20, 30, and 60-minute consultations where you can speak with me one-on-one to get clarity on your eligibility, your options, and the best next steps for your situation. You can book your consultation directly at italiandual.com. Now, you may have already heard that on June 24th, Italy's Constitutional Court held a public hearing to review whether the old system of unlimited citizenship by descent was constitutional. Now, that case got a lot of attention, and rightly so. But now we have another case just referred today from a court in Turin that may even be more significant, especially for those who are currently blocked under the new rules from Law 74. And for those of you who watched my three-part interview with top Italian attorney Arturo Grasso, you may remember that he actually made reference to this case in Turin, as well as a couple of others. So let's start by looking at the June 24th case first. Now, this case is asking the Constitutional Court a very focused question. Is it constitutional for Italy to allow citizenship to be passed down through an unlimited number of generations? In other words, can someone still qualify for citizenship through a great grandparent or even further back without some sort of generational limits? Now, the applicants in this case are all descendants of Italian great grandparents, and their local courts referred the cases on to the Constitutional Court, raising doubts about whether such wide reaching citizenship is still compatible with the Italian Constitution. Now, the court heard arguments from both sides. The referring judges questioned whether these distant claims created legal imbalances, since people applying through descent face fewer requirements than those applying through other means such as naturalization or marriage. The applicant's attorneys responded that citizenship by descent is a birthright, not a privilege. And they also argued that cutting off access mid-process through Law 74 may violate constitutional protections. Now, one key point, the Italian government did not participate in the hearing. They missed the deadline to file their arguments, so they weren't there to defend the law. The court is now deliberating in private, and we expect a decision sometime between July and September. So, yes, the June 24th case is important, but here's where things just got even more interesting. A court in Turin has just made what is called a constitutional referral. Now, that means the judge has formally asked the Constitutional Court to review whether part of Law 74 violates the Italian Constitution. So this would be the first time that the constitutionality of the new law is officially examined in court. And this case may have even more direct consequences than the June 24th hearing because it challenges how the law is being enforced right now. Now, as of June 24th, we now have confirmation that this referral has been officially accepted and publicly reported. That means that the Constitutional Court now has the case in hand. And here's why this new referral is such a big deal. Unlike the June 24th case, which focuses on legal philosophy and the principle of unlimited descent, the Turin case is about the real world effects of the new law on people applying today. Based on what's been reported, the referral may raise constitutional questions about whether Law 74 is being applied retroactively, especially to people who are already deep into the process before it took effect. Now, this is important because the lawmakers behind the decree law and the Law 74 state that they believe that they are not retroactively applying the new law because people who wanted to take advantage of their right to Italian citizenship had years to do that. They could have already done it. So if they didn't step forward there, they didn't want it, obviously. So therefore, they say, we're not applying the new law retroactively. This is just people who didn't want it. And obviously, that wouldn't be true for anybody who was actively working on applying for Italian citizenship, gathering documents, that sort of thing. Now, this law referral from Turin will also take an examination of whether the savings clause contained in Law 74 is too narrow. The savings clause found in Article 1 says that if your citizenship had already been formally recognized before the March 28th deadline, that you're protected. But it also says that anybody who applied directly through a consulate or comune who had an accepted application, or those who filed a court case before the March 28th deadline are protected, but it doesn't protect all of those who have been working on this potentially for years, gathering documents, maybe even paying uh, people to help them, attorneys, etc. Those people are not protected under the new law. And it will also examine potentially whether or not the so-called minor issue rule is unconstitutional. Now, that's the policy introduced by an October 2024 circular from the ministry, which says that if an Italian parent loses citizenship before their child becomes an adult, that child is blocked from inheriting their Italian citizenship, even if the parent was eligible or already recognized. So, in other words, the child is treated as if the parent was never Italian at all, simply because the loss happened by the parent while the child was still a minor. Now, critics argue that this rule violates principles of family unity and equal treatment, and the referral from the Turin court may give the Constitutional Court the chance to review whether that interpretation is consistent with the Constitution. So that could be big news for anybody blocked by the minor issue. So why does this matter? Well, because Law 74 is already in force, it has blocked many people who used to qualify, sometimes even people who had already started the process or were just weeks away from their appointment. So if the Constitutional Court rules that part of Law 74 or how it's being applied is unconstitutional, we could see protections for in-process applicants, a rollback or clarification of the minor issue, or a new legal standard for evaluating denials based on timing or ancestry. And here's something else to keep in mind. Even though this case may take several months to reach a decision, it could be very important for people who are currently preparing their documents or who are planning to file a court petition soon. If the Constitutional Court rules in a way that limits how Law 74 can be enforced or broadens protection for those who are already in progress, that could directly help many people who are filing in the near future. In other words, this case gives attorneys and applicants another legal pathway to argue even while we are waiting for a final ruling. Now, let me be clear, the June 24th case is about the future of citizenship by descent as a concept. It may influence future reforms, but it's not likely to help blocked applicants in the short term. The Turin referral, on the other hand, could lead to concrete legal protections and sooner. It goes straight to the question of how Law 74 is affecting real people right now. So here's the bottom line. We're now watching two major legal developments: the June 24th case that may affect long-term rules, and the Turin referral that could be the key to reopening blocked paths, especially for those whose applications were already underway. And as I mentioned, the Constitutional Court has already accepted the Turin referral. And of course, when any rulings come down, I will report on that immediately. Now, if you're not sure where your case stands, now is the time to get clarity and take action. As we've discussed, the referral from the Turin court is now officially in motion, and top Italian attorneys are recommending that eligible applicants start gathering their documents if they haven't done so already, so that they're ready if a new window opens. If the Constitutional Court rules in favor of applicants, it could trigger a surge of demand, and those who already have their documents prepared will be much further ahead in line, since it can take several months to gather everything that you need. So the smartest thing that you can do right now is to get a head start. And as I mentioned before, I do offer affordable 20, 30, and 60-minute consultations where we'll review your eligibility, clarify your best options, and help you map out a game plan. So just head to ItalianDuel.com to book your one-on-one consultation with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.